Hello, everybody, and thanks for being here with us. We at the DMV Selection Specialists are very excited by the prospect of working with StyleBox on your selection journey. During our time today, we'd love to share a bit about our firm, lay out our roadmap for customizing your selection process, and explain what makes us the right people for the job. DMV Selection Specialists is proud to be the largest consulting firm in the metropolitan DC area who specializes in employee selection. We have over 400 consultants with selection-specific expertise, as well as about 100 other consultants who specialize in areas including training, performance management, and DE&I work. This support team helps to ensure that our selection systems can work in harmony with the rest of your organizational infrastructure. The sheer size of our staff allows us to minimize the client load of each consultant, meaning that our employees are never overextended. You'll be sure to receive highly personalized attention and commitment, backed by the resources of our large firm. We also know that our commitment to our work needs to be backed by tried and true expertise. That's why all of our consultants have graduate degrees in HR, industrial psychology, or a related field, and they have 5+ years of tangible professional experience. When you choose DMV Selection Specialists, you're choosing both the scientist and the practitioner.
StyleBox is a rapidly growing brand in need of new stylists to increase organizational performance. StyleBox is in need of a selection system that allows it to upscale without sacrificing its signature element of personal touch. StyleBox plans to expand its international workforce by almost 25%, staffing 1,000 stylists in the U.S. locations, as well as an additional 700 stylists in the Germany locations. We at DMV Specialists understand that within this goal lies several caveats. We must not sacrifice style quality for quantity. We must leave all candidates with a positive impression of the organization, and we must implement a solution that is scalable. And as each of these boxes are checked, we have successfully selected 1,700 new stylists. StyleBox customer service bandwidth will also significantly grow, as well as its revenue potential. It's our goal to put in place a system in which customers leave feeling satisfied by the staffing in which we have produced for you.
In this next section, we will talk about our technical approach, specifically work analysis. This is a crucial step to understanding work-related issues like training, pay, and recruitment. We would gather information about personal requirements and main tasks needed to be done for a specific role or job. It's the most important process in which all other decisions in the recruitment procedure rely on. To start the process of recruiting quality candidates, we'll begin by asking you, StyleBox, a detailed description of the work that will be performed and required. This is to provide candidates with the most detailed description of the job position, including important KSAs or knowledge, skills, and abilities. Selection criteria represents the KSAs that are required before job entry. Then we would conduct a virtual survey, as this would be the best choice for this situation. We'd provide a mix of questions in order to analyze overall employee opinion of their workplace. After collecting results, we plan to gather a panel of 10 subject matter experts, or SMEs. The diverse team of SMEs will help ensure our small sample represents the broader population of StyleBox. After this phase, StyleBox will have the tasks and associated KSAs that are needed to succeed in the stylist role to look for in a candidate. We at DMV Selection Specialists have laid out an outline that is SME approved and a fluent guide to organizational staffing success. After conducting our work analysis, we at DMV Selection Specialists would use the results to develop individual difference measures as part of the overall selection system for the stylist of StyleBox. For example, if we discovered that customer care and personal service skills are critical components of the stylist role, our firm would create an assessment in order to test those skills. We would follow these main 9 steps, which are fundamental requirements for a successful performance management system, as seen in the presentation below. Online tests are more cost and time effective to administer, particularly considering that StyleBox is hiring internationally. Hypothetically, each of the questions could contain scenarios involving either a customer needs assessment, a determination of quality services, or other evaluations, and would be situations collected during our conversations with subject matter experts, or SMEs. Once we've had, for instance, 60 questions that meet each of those criteria, they will be piloted to a group of people who are demographically similar to those of StyleBox candidate pool. whole. With the pilot results, we would then conduct a series of item analysis. After we have conducted each set of item analysis, we will select the final set of items to include in our measure.
The weighted application blank technique is most appropriate when collecting data for Style Box due to the relatively large number of employees doing similar work. Adequate records of these employees are available and taken into account the possibility of hopefully attracting more applicants than there are positions. This would provide a wider selection pool to choose from when selecting good candidates. WAB technique could be utilized in a variety of processes during the development of our selection system, including our online assessment. This approach involves selecting specific KSAOs, identifying specific questions that could potentially measure those targeted points, determining the predictive power of each of the questions, assigning weight values to those questions, and finally scoring the applicant. Weight values can be determined by which KSAOs mean the most to a successful stylist in one of these positions. And then from there, a total score would be derived for each of the applicants. And this will help us determine which candidates are able to produce the best responses to the question or content that are highly related to the targeted needs of Style Box. Cutoff scores could also then be established when used in selection, which I know we've discussed prior, and that will just help us eliminate the maximum number of potential unsuccessful candidates based on the data.
Candidates who meet or exceed the cutoff score from our weighted application blank will move on to the interview phase. This is the only part of our selection system that requires more of a lift on your part, but we believe that that's critical because human interaction is a key component of the stylist's job. Although Style Box employees will be the people giving these interviews, we plan to provide you all the tools you need to ensure that the interviews are reliable and valid. We were going to work with subject matter experts to develop interview questions based exclusively on the findings of our work analysis. And the questions will be both situational, for example, what would you do if, or experience-based, for example, tell me about a time when. Each carefully developed question will be accompanied by a behaviorally anchored rating scale. This is a numerical scale that interviewers can use to rate candidate responses to each question. But each potential score is defined by the type of answer that warrants it. This helps to maintain reliability and reduce interviewee subjectivity during interview rating processes. The numerical scores that interviewers select for each answer can total up for an overall interview score, which can help you make those final decisions quickly and objectively. So, we've laid out our selection roadmap. Why is this one the best approach for Style Box? Well, we plan to create a highly customized solution for your current needs. Our primary goal is actually scalability. Right now, Style Box needs 700 new employees, and we can and will make that happen for you. But we want to give you long-lasting tools so that the next time you need more new employees in more new locations, your selection system continues to enable that expansion. We also want to create a system that reflects your value proposition. Convenience meets personal touch. Our system is convenient for both you and your candidates because it's administered primarily online and asynchronously, and candidate scores are determined quite objectively. But it's still highly personalized. Our online assessment will be developed alongside real Style Box stylists who will serve as our subject matter experts. And it's personalized to the test taker thanks to our computer adaptive testing approach. And of course, final decisions will be made on the basis of candidates' interviews because we know that Style Box sees its employees as people and not just numbers. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, DMV selection specialists are both the scientist and the practitioner. We can and will provide you with a solution that's both scientifically and strategically sound. Thanks for your time.